The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up. So many pretty girls around me and they're waking up the rocket. Keep up. Why you mad? Fix your face. Ain't my fault they all be jocking. Keep up. Players only. Come on, put your pinky rings up to the moon.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to New Era Talk with Cathy. And oh my God, so I just have to start out because did anybody, I don't know if anybody did, why would anybody want to watch the Vikings game? Oh my God. Oh my God. I easily aged so much. And I'm going to say it here, and I know, you know what, I don't care if you're offended or not, but I did wet my pants a little bit. I was just like, and that's the thing that everybody knows about me that really knows me. I got so many texts and phone calls. Cathy, did you pee your pants? Yes, I did. Thank you. I did. Because that's just my thing. That's what I do. I jump up and down. And I'm a female, and I had a few kids, and that happens sometimes. So, ladies, if you're younger and you're listening, know that that might happen to you also someday. But, oh my God, it was just like absolutely crazy. And I was watching it with a friend of mine that's an Eagles fan of all things. And I was just like, don't talk. The last 26 seconds. Don't say a word. Don't look at me. Don't talk to me. And look at the miracle in Minneapolis. We saw it. If you didn't watch it, I know you saw it. So I'm just excited. Go Vikings. Go Vikings. Excellent week. Last week was my first week with my youngest son off to college. Everything is Super Bowl related lately. He goes to a college that is only 3 blocks away from US Bank Stadium. So he started last week, and then he'll be down out of school for the 10 days of the Super Bowl. So I get him back home really quickly. I like that. But there's so much exciting things going on. The zip line for the Super Bowl, my good friend Robert Griffith, he and his partner Steve Kim are the sponsors of the zip line, which, sorry, it's sold out, but I bet you could probably figure something out if you go there. They're going to have some extra ones every day, if there's extra time allowing. And, my gosh, there's great parties. SB23 Productions, along with Talance Sawyer and Tyrone Carter, they're having the Purple and Gold Party on Thursday night, February 1st. Tyrone Carter is having his Steelers party on the 2nd, so Thursday and Friday at the Mermaid in Mounds View. So there's some really great parties going on there. Robert Griffith, ZooksBag.com. Like I said, there's going to be some Zooks Live opportunities to go meet a bunch of celebrities and athletes in Minneapolis at some of those events. They're going to have some stages, some signings, so watch out for those. We'll start advertising those pretty soon. That's all around the zip line kind of activities. And we are going to be visiting a special place as well, Captain's Lakeside Grill, with Zooks Live as well. So just kind of making that announcement right now because we're going to be advertising them on all of our Zooks Live advertising, because these ladies at Captain's Lakeside Grill on Long Lake in Isanti are 2 of the best women I've met, and I'm so excited to introduce you to one of the co-owners. Actually, she's the co-owner of the co-owner that we had on last week. So, Elena Falk. Is that how I say it? Falk,
yep, just like Peter Falk.
Peter Falk. There we go. Elena, welcome to New Era Talk. How are you tonight, darling?
I'm great. Thanks for inviting me.
I was so excited to be able to come to your place on Was it Saturday? Time is flying.
Yeah,
wow.
I think so.
You get a day off, and it just kind of messes up all your days. But, oh my gosh, everybody, you have to get out there. Even in the wintertime, I mean, it's gorgeous. I mean, they're on the lake. There's a campground there. I mean, I'm not going to steal her thunder. I'll let her tell you more about it. But today's a really special day for Elena, and I want you to get to know her. And Elena, welcome.
I'm here.
All right. So today's a special day. I want to start with that. Happy anniversary. Can you share with everybody what today means to you?
Well, today is 6 years that I have been sober. 6 years ago today, I totally changed my life. I took big steps to do that, and it's been a wonderful 6 years.
I love it. So can you share with us a little bit about the story that got you there? Made you to make that decision?
All right, well, let me tell you about where I was about more like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Imagine weighing 528 pounds with no clothes that fit, using a walker at 40 years old,
Wow.
bedbound, single, alone in a tiny little apartment. And then you'll know what hopeless means. Imagine getting shingles at that same time.
Wow.
And then you really know what hopeless means. Imagine being in the 1% of the world who weighed more than 500 pounds. That was me.
Wow.
My dream was to fit into my skinny pants, which you saw in the picture you posted today.
Right.
They were a size 68. Those were my skinny pants.
Oh my gosh.
I had sleep apnea. I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I was pre-diabetic. My legs were swollen the size of watermelons. I had headaches every day. Just miserable. My life was truly miserable. And I woke up one day and I thought, man, I don't know how much longer I'm going to live. I just felt like I was just fading away. So I begged my doctor to help me get a gastric bypass. He told me no, because back then it had hardly been done. And my insurance company had never approved a gastric bypass. So I begged, and they kept turning me down. I wrote to my insurance company, they turned me down. And finally, I told my doctor, I said, I don't think I'm going to make it much longer. I need your help. Please write a letter for me. So reluctantly, she wrote a letter to my insurance company and said that if I didn't have the surgery, I probably wouldn't be around much longer. So they approved me. I was the first person on the wellness plan at that time approved for the surgery. I had it. I had the surgery. I lost 230 pounds in 18 months.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody said it's the easy way out, man. Why'd you take the easy way out? Well, I lost half of my hair. I was sick all the time. I had nausea every day, every time I ate anything, headaches and diarrhea, and it was not the easy way out. It was pretty miserable. And, but like I said, I lost 230 pounds, and I was feeling great in some ways. Very unhealthy, but, I could move around better and stuff.
Right.
And, but eventually I learned how to bypass the bypass, which means, when I had the bypass, it just kind of put a Band-Aid on the real problem. Right. I had problems inside. And I couldn't eat as much because they make your stomach like the size of a marble.
Wow.
So I began drinking in place of eating. Okay. So I started drinking myself to death. But, along with the drinking, I started gaining weight again. And then after about 3 years, I gained the 200 pounds back that I'd lost.
Oh, wow.
And I found myself once again miserable, about 470 pounds, very unhappy, and drinking, getting drunk every single night. I was losing everything, my house, my car, I owned a nightclub at the time. Which, made it easy to drink. It's right there and it's free, sort of.
Right.
And then exactly. One night I was drunk and I had my manager drive me home after the nightclub closed at like 3 a.m. on a cold January night. Got out of the car, slipped and fell in my driveway. I was so drunk I couldn't even stand up. I laid there on the ground. I couldn't get up. My friend couldn't help me up because I weighed almost 500 pounds, and she was just a little, 4'5" girl.
Oh, my.
So I laid there, snow falling down. It was like about 0 degrees. And finally, after about a half an hour of freezing to death, I crawled onto my porch and into my house and passed out on the floor of my living room. I woke up the next day and I had an epiphany, and I said, man, wow, what happened? What am I doing to myself? I had shattered my wrist in 3 places that night. I had a knot on my forehead. Oh, wow. I was just sick to my stomach, and I knew at that moment I had to do something to change my life. and I decided I needed to do 3 things. The first one was to quit drinking, which I quit drinking that day, and I haven't had a drink since. So that must have been January about 14th, 15th.
Or the 16th. That was today, right?
Well, the 16th, the 15th was probably when I fell, and the 16th is when I gave up the drinking. So,
okay.
Yeah, so the 15th, January 15th was the night that I fell in the driveway.
Okay.
So, yes, the 16th was when I quit drinking, and I decided to join Weight Watchers that day, and I found a counselor online. I had to beg a bunch of counselors because, like I told you, I was going broke.
Right.
But I wrote letters to about 30, 40 different counselors in the area, and one of them finally said, come in, I want to work with you, I want to help you.
Wow.
So, with those 3 things, I found out that I had the power to change my own life. And after about a year and a half, I lost most of the weight back again on Weight Watchers, the healthy way.
How long?
About a year and a half.
Wow.
Almost 2 years, but a little over a year and a half. But I thank Weight Watchers for that. And I started writing, and I wrote a couple of books, and I wrote a bunch of inspirational stories. And in fact, Weight Watcher magazine published a bunch of my stories in their magazine.
Wow.
And Chicken Soup for the Soul published one of my stories in their book, A Time to Thrive.
Lena, wow.
Yeah. So I figured I was going to help the world, and I really, surprisingly, I started writing my little short stories.
Uh-huh.
I joined about 150 Weight Watcher Facebook sites.
Okay.
I became members, and I would publish my stories on each one of those sites. Every time I wrote one, I'd go to every site and I'd publish it. I had people that knew me all the way across the United States.
Oh my gosh.
I started a blog, and I had like 2,000 people join in the first couple weeks. It was amazing.
Wow.
So and then they started asking me to come and speak at different Weight Watcher locations and stuff, and there would be people that knew me from my stories and from Facebook and from stuff that they knew my name when I walked in the door. It was very strange.
Oh, wow. Now, did you travel all over the place for that?
Well, I went to like the Chicago area, Wisconsin, Ohio, Michigan, Minnesota.
Midwest, yeah.
Yeah, all those states. Visited all those and did speaking engagements at all of them, which was fun.
Oh my gosh. Now that is so inspirational. Now, I need to ask you a question.
Yes.
Number one, I'm going to be asking you how everybody can get your books, what they're called, okay? But, and they should have seen that on the post. But going back, what was it? I'm curious because, like, when you said you were up over 500 pounds, what do you think led you up to getting like that before you had the bypass even?
You know, I was always a chubby kid. Pretty chubby, and I never had the confidence to try and meet someone. And I discovered, I wonder why guys would never want to date me and stuff, and I didn't really want to date them either, but I didn't figure out until much later on in life that it was because I was gay.
Okay.
And so I think that was really on the inside of one of my biggest issues was to figure that out and admit to it and be happy about it.
So it was really getting to, it actually helped you learn yourself in a sense, right?
Right. Yeah, I ended up embracing that, and I owned 5 different lesbian, gay, drag bar, nightclubs, sports bars over 20-some years.
I love it. And where were they?
All in the Detroit, Michigan area. One of them I had for 20 years.
Wow.
It was called Stilettos Nightclub.
Uh-huh.
And it was the first bar I bought and the last bar that I sold.
That is so great. And good attendance. What was it about your nightclubs? Were they the only?
No, they weren't the only, but it was the only women's bar.
Love it.
In Detroit at the time, there were 32 men's gay bars. And some of them were just small hole in the walls, but they still had 32, and they had nothing for women. So that was my thing. I said, I'm going to open something up where women can have a place to be and go and be themselves.
Isn't that crazy? Because it's like that in business and everything. It's just like everywhere.
Right.
The women, we tend to have to push a little harder, work a little harder to get to what we want, and it doesn't matter in what area it is. It just seems to be that way. And so the women that are out there that do it and make it happen, oh my gosh, I mean, what I love, like what you're talking about, it inspires on so many different levels. Right. So once you came to that realization and you did that, and then I'm curious though, because so you said you're in Detroit.
Yes.
What brought you here to Minnesota? Where it's so much warmer, like you could fall here, right?
Well, at that point, there was a point when I decided I was done with the bar business. I didn't want to do it anymore. It wasn't fun anymore. I didn't drink. The whole gay scene was changing because, and it's a good thing, we were accepted everywhere. So everybody can go to any bar pretty much and be accepted and have a good time and dance and have fun. Whereas when I started my bar, 2 women or 2 men could not go to another bar and dance together or hold hands or anything like that. But it became more accepted, so people didn't have to come to the gay bar. They could go to any bar. So, attendance started falling off, and I felt like it was just time to move on. I felt like I did my part, making it known and accepted. And, so then I started doing these speaking, and I wrote these books, and I started doing speaking engagements and podcasts like this and stuff. And I got a message from someone named Sherry who wanted to interview me just like you are.
I know somebody named Sherry. Okay.
Well, she interviewed me, and I don't know, we just got to talking, and we kept talking, and we became friends, and then we just fell in love. When we would sit on the computer and do our work on there all day long, and she'd be up in the corner of my screen, and I'd be up in the corner of hers, and we would just talk. It was almost like being in the same room.
Right.
And she came to visit me, and before you know it, we just fell in love, and I was like, my lease was up on my house, and I had just sold my bar, and my lease was up on my one car, and it was like everything's ending and changing, and it's time to move on and try something new. So,
how long ago was that?
It was about 3 years ago now.
Okay.
3.5 years ago.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yep.
That's exciting. So, I love a good love story. I need to find my love story one of these days.
You will.
I hope so. Well, guys, I am single. Did I say that out loud? Anyway, okay, so where did you move then when you came here?
I moved in with Sherry.
Okay.
So we got a place. I moved into her place, and then eventually we got a house together, and we were doing motivational speaking and doing different programs. We did something called Amp It Up and Amp Up Your Life, and big things for women.
Okay.
Meetings and things like that. So
well, talk to me more about your public speaking, because that's one of my passions, and I want to hear what you did, how you got out there. How did you get the word out there? And literally, what were your topics that you were getting out there and talking to women about?
Well, if you read my books, you'll see that they're all short stories, and they're just maybe I'll read you a paragraph out of the book in a minute, but
yes,
they're all like short stories, and they all revolve around different things. I found that through my life, I had been, I was gay, so I was discriminated against for that. I was fat, and I was discriminated against for that. I was a woman. Mm-hmm. It's hard to get what you want when you're a woman.
Right.
Just so many things that were like I felt were stacked up against me. And so I wrote stories about all these things. And sometimes I'm the main character, sometimes I'm not. But every story that I write comes from something that happened to me in my life. So like I said, I started publishing those stories on different websites. And I found a couple of drug addiction websites or addiction websites because I was addicted to food. I was an addiction. So I started writing on those sites and publishing things, and I had people all over that just knew me, and they started buying my books, and I was an Amazon bestseller the first week it came out.
I love it.
Within 2 days that weekend, we did a book promo, and when we released the book, I think it went to number 2 on the Amazon bestseller list.
Wow.
So it's pretty amazing. I built up a pretty quick following really fast by writing on all those sites. People love my stories.
I can't wait to read them. So,
Yeah.
but I want mine hand delivered. I'm going to pick them up next weekend.
It's quick and easy reading. You can sit down and read a quick story and go do your, go on with your day and be inspired.
Well, okay, but for people that, so I have people that tell me all the time, oh my gosh, Cathy, you should have a reality show around you. You have so many crazy things that happen to you, or you're so funny. You have all these funny stories. I could honestly tell you, I wouldn't know how to sit down and write. So for somebody like me, I mean, what kind of recommendation would you make? I mean, I know I have some entertaining things. I mean, I don't know if it would make an impact to anybody's life, but at least they would laugh.
Well, when I felt like I was going to be getting out of the bar business, and I went back to college.
Okay.
And at 50 years old, I'm in college. I'm the oldest person there, probably. Mm-hmm. And I took a creative writing class for fun because I'd always been an okay writer. My teachers in school had always encouraged me, and I was like editor of our yearbook and the high school newspaper, and I worked on the college paper, and I just always loved to write. So I took this class, and my teacher told me that, well, she felt that I was amazing and that I needed to write. I needed to make that my career. So that really encouraged me. And so I applied for a scholarship, and I got a creative writing scholarship at Eastern Michigan University.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty hard to do. Yeah. Free ride to go to school to learn how to write. But that happened right as I was thinking about moving to Minnesota, so I never accepted the scholarship.
Wow.
But I did just I just sat down and just started writing. I started writing, and I found an editor, and I would write and send it to her, and she would edit it and send it back, and before you know it, I had a book together, and then I had two, and it just kind of just flows out of the pen. I swear to God, I sit down and I start writing, and when I get finished, I set the pen down, I look at it, I say, oh my God, did I really write this? It amazes me. It amazes me.
My mother is a great writer, so I mean, I think there's something in me somewhere. I just have always been, too much of a talker, I think.
Well, you can do it. You just have to sit down.
I have to sit down long enough without distraction.
And my secret thing, not secret, but one of my things is I have books everywhere, in my car, next to the couch, in my bedroom when I was writing, and anything came into my mind, I would just write it down. If I heard a really neat phrase or heard somebody describe something some way, I would write it down. If I was driving past the carnival, I would pull off the road and I would park in the parking lot, and I would just look at it and write down everything I saw.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And in fact, like you'll see, one of my stories is called The Carnival, and that's what I did. I pulled in and I just wrote down everything I could see and smell and hear.
Oh my gosh.
And it helped me write the story. You need some kind of inspiration to do it. You can't just make it all up in your head. So, whenever I'm in a different place, like by the water, by a lake, or by, something like that, I pull over and I just write down everything I see and everything I hear. And later on, I'll go back and use it.
That's so interesting to me. My 23-year-old son has always been very good at the writing and everything too. And, debate and speech. And it's a God-given talent in a sense, but also something that you have to practice at, I can see. But I'm so intrigued by that because my mom can literally sit down and write a poem or write a story, and it's just amazing to me. And she does it every year. Like at Christmas, we all get these wonderful things that she's written, and she's published in the newspaper down in Kentucky where they live. And it's called the Troublesome Creek Times down in Kentucky. But I just think I'm jealous. So I don't need to be jealous. I should probably, you know what? I want to do something like that. And I think you've inspired me to actually think about, I think it would help me focus on what's important in my life, because the last couple of years, my health has been bad. And my focus has been all over the place because Lyme disease is what I deal with, which is in my opinion, one of the stupidest things, stupid little ticks. But, I mean, I've always been kind of flighty anyway, and then to have something that actually purposely takes your focus and, your energy away is just kind of, like I said, it's stupid.
Well, one thing that overwhelms some people is thinking of writing a book, a story, filling all these pages. What I started off doing was I wrote a story about when I lost enough weight to go camping. Wow. I could never fit in a camper before. I couldn't even fit through the doorway of a camper. I couldn't fit on the toilet in a camper. I couldn't sit on the little, the chairs they put around the campfire, the plastic chairs, because they would fall to the ground. These were all things that I could not do. And finally, when I lost all this weight, one of my goals was to go camping, and I did.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And
it's just a little thing, but I made a whole big story out of it.
But and exactly, because, people take things for granted. Wow.
And that story inspired so many people. If you write a story about your Lyme disease, what you're feeling inside, how you're scared, how people read that, and it helps them understand and relate better to people who have it. People who read my stories understand how big people feel. You can't not read a story and not understand a lot more about what people are going through, or being addicted to food or anything like that.
Well, and people only see the outside, and they don't know what's going on inside. Because, with Lyme disease, people are like, "Wow, what's wrong with you? Why can't you get up? Well, you're
always sick all the time."
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, I just keep going, but I'm a shadow of myself, energy-wise. Where it's like, "Oh, Cathy, you used to, work out 6 days a week. You used to do this." It's like, well, I want to again, but I get up and forget what I was going to do. So I know. But
and you can write about that. Yeah. You can write about, and I worked for a little while. When I got out of the bar business, I was going to try and help people in another way, and I became an activities director in a senior citizen home.
Wow. Okay.
And some of these people, there was one lady who used to be a pianist that was, played the piano and stuff, and I just wrote a story from her point of view of what I thought maybe she was staring at the piano. They would roll her wheelchair in front of the piano, and she would just stare at it. And I got inside of her head, and I wrote a story about what it might feel like. And that's in one of my books as well. I just put myself in someone else's place and try to describe what they're feeling, I don't know.
I'm going to ask you for a huge favor. Do you have one of your books handy?
Yeah, I do. I have one right here, because I thought I might have to read something from it.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I would love that. Please,
I have a real short little story. It's only 3 paragraphs, but it's one of the favorites that they always wanted me to read at, when I would speak.
Okay.
So if you really want me to read that, I can do that.
I really do. I really want you to read it.
Okay. You want me to do that right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the name of this story is in my first book called Pick a Struggle Cupcake, An Ordinary Life Filled with Extraordinary Moments. And it's called Just Listen. Here it goes.
Okay.
There was a time when I weighed well over 500 pounds. Fearing ridicule, I began to venture out less and less. There came a day when leaving the apartment was no longer an option. I sat alone in silence most days, wondering what my purpose might be. Because after all, everyone has a purpose, don't they? As I pondered my future, or lack of one, I would listen to the ticking of my kitchen clock, and when the silence became too deafening to bear, I would struggle across the room and slide open my patio door to invite the outer world inside for a visit. I would listen to the chorus of birds singing outside my window, and I would smile and listen to the children below, laughing in delight on a warm summer afternoon. How I longed to feel the sunshine on my own face. Today, much smaller and much healthier, resting on a park bench, I write quietly in my worn and weathered journal. I sit and listen to the water from the river rush past while the ducks and geese harmonize above. In the distance, I hear the frantic clanging of a railroad crossing as the train rolls past, offering up a lonely bellow. As I rise to continue my daily stroll, I hear the leaves crunching beneath my feet and realize that fall is just around the corner. Stopping for an instant, I take a deep breath, and I am thankful for this single moment of peaceful freedom. Then, tilting my face to the sky, I smile as the sun warms my cheeks, and I listen intently to the world, to earth, and my heart whisper, welcome back. Where have you been? That's it.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on. I'm going to take a second. Elena, wow. I could envision that. I mean, completely. Me speechless. Wait, that's so meaningful. I mean, to hear. I mean, I could see you in your place, and I mean, I think so many of us have been there where it's like, I can't get myself to go outside. I can't get myself to face this, to go out there, to, and it doesn't even matter your weight. I mean, there's so many things that hold so many of us back. I mean, so many people are in so many different parts of their lives where there's things that hold them back. I mean, and what you're doing with that is really inspiring somebody to get out there and enjoy.
Right.
And
right.
Wow. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a lot of what I write about, the small, like, non-scale victories, they call them, Weight Watchers.
Uh-huh.
When you do something you hadn't been able to do before.
Mm-hmm.
Like going to the theater. I could never fit in a movie theater seat. I couldn't go to a theater. I didn't know what it was like to smell the popcorn and see the big screen and the colorful, movie stuff up on the, Technicolor stuff, or to go to the zoo. I couldn't even walk from my car to the gate, let alone walk around in a zoo, and I loved animals.
Oh,
and
wow.
So my first time that I got to go to the zoo, I wrote a whole story about that. It was just amazing to me.
Oh, my. And what zoo did you go to the first
Detroit Zoo.
Okay.
The Detroit Zoo, it's a big zoo. And after I had lost all that weight, the first time I went, I couldn't barely walk from my car to the gate. And then they had those twirly gates, the kind that spin when you walk through. I couldn't even fit through it. I got stuck in there.
Oh.
So it was like the first time I wanted to go, I gave up. I went back and sat in the car. I didn't even go in. I was upset and crying. So later on, it became my goal to get in there, and I did that. And I ended up walking the entire length of the zoo all the way around, and I went to every spot. And it was an amazing day. I took 1 million pictures, and it's a memory I'll always have.
Elena, that's amazing. I mean, I'm just trying to. I mean, because I've put on weight myself with my illness and my surgeries, and I mean, I'm uncomfortable, and I've been there to the point where it's like a lot of people would go, "Oh, Cathy, you're not overweight," but your body feels different. I mean, just me with the Lyme disease, trying to get upstairs sometimes is really hard.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, I can completely relate to I went from riding a bike for 175 miles to what? I can't get up my stairs today. It's having something that's so debilitating like that and pushing through and leaving all the bad thoughts, the bad ideas, the bad times in your life and pushing through it. Wow. I just feel really blessed to have met you and Sherry. So, and now I'm going to bring it back now. Sherry. So you came here, you moved in with her.
Uh-huh.
And what did you two decide to do?
We clicked. Like I said, we were going to do motivational speaking, and we were going to change the world. And she wanted to buy a little coffee shop with a meeting center where we could do meetings and things like that and try to help people. But, me, I have the nightclub bar business in me. And as much as I couldn't wait to get out of it, I came across this little place out on Long Lake that was kind of falling apart, and I could see so much potential in it, and we made an offer onto the guy, and he took it. And so we bought Captain's. We changed the name to Captain's Lakeside Grill, and we are still in the process of turning the place around. We're coming on to our second year in April.
Okay.
And, we went in there. We had to fix everything. Everything was broken. Nothing was working right. Everything was falling apart. But slowly but surely, we've been working on the place and doing lots of stuff and building up business, and put a little stage outside, and we have a monkey bar out there, which they call it, as swings around the bar that
I
you
love
sit
that.
on. And
anybody ever
so
fall
last
off
year,
those swings?
what's that?
I could see myself falling off the swing.
Well, there are chains across the back, just so
Okay.
that doesn't happen.
Okay, good. Just
Because it did happen
okay.
before, I'm sure.
That's,
Um,
okay.
So we really focus on entertainment out there. Like, that's what I did in Detroit as well, only it was drag queens and drag kings and things like that. But out here, it's live bands and acoustic singers.
Okay.
And there's so much talent here in Minnesota. It's unbelievable. I mean, everywhere you turn, there's someone who can sing or play the guitar.
Hello. Yeah, I guess Prince is from here. What do you think? Right.
Yeah.
So, my own kids, talent.
Yep.
Yeah, there really are. I mean, Minnesota's got a great music scene. They really do.
It's unbelievable. People are everywhere, and so we started out doing music on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and then we added it. We were up to 6 nights a week last year.
Oh, wow.
With live entertainment every day from about 5:30 till about dark.
Mm-hmm. And that's during the summer?
In the summer, yep. Yeah, it starts in the spring when we have a campground right next door, so when that opens back up, we start the entertainment. And we have entertainment every night for dinner time, like I said, until dark. And then on the weekends, from about 1 in the afternoon till 5, we have an acoustic band, a singer. And then at 5:30, we put a full band out there on the patio. So there's always something going on.
Wow. So, okay, how did people start learning about you? About the location? I mean, it was out there, right? But you said it was run down. Had it been opened for very long?
Yeah, it was open. The guy had owned it for quite a while. He was an older man. And so we just like spreading the word and Facebook and, social media and newspapers and any way we could do it. It just, people started telling other people because it's such a fun place. It's such a fun place to be, Oh,
I love it. I mean, you just walk in and you can just feel it's so welcoming, and I mean, it smelled like a nice fire because you had the fire going outside. You had the fire.
Yeah, we built a fire pit built a pit right on the patio that we keep lit all night long and in the afternoon. And people sit out there all night. Sometimes we have a guitar player playing out there. And they kind of sing around the campfire, believe it or not.
I love it, yeah.
It sounds dorky and crazy, but you know what? When you're doing it, it's really, really pretty nice.
Mm-hmm. Wow, yeah, it's a beautiful place. I can't wait. I am wishing winter away because I can't wait to see it in the summer and be out there a lot. I've got a couple of my very best friends that live nearby, little town called Day. So I mean, we'll be there quite often. I'm positive.
I'm surprised that they have not heard of us. If they're out there, everybody knows of us now.
You know
what?
We
do weddings.
No, she has heard of you. She just hasn't been there yet.
Oh.
But now she will.
And that's what we hear so much. We never knew you were here. We never knew this place existed. And, every year we get more new people out there. And people are still discovering us.
Well, and it probably, no offense to the previous owner, but it probably wasn't as much fun before either. So, just saying.
That's what they say.
Yes, exactly. I can tell. No, I mean, it's crazy. So my son and I would always drive by there because we'd take 47 to go up to our friend's place, and I'd always see the sign. And obviously I'm headed to their place and then driving back home, so it was not ever something I ever thought of. Right. But I kind of have a big mouth.
Well,
so I'm going to be telling a lot of people.
Tell everybody about February 10th. We're going to do the Arctic Splash right on the lake, right behind the bar. And we're expecting 1,000, 2,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not jumping in. I'll tell you that right now. I am a wimp. Are you going to do it?
I'm not going to do it. I'll be too busy organizing everything.
I'll be too busy watching you do that.
Oh my God! I'm going to put you to work if you're there. So
okay, with a beer in my hand. Okay. Oh my gosh! So, how did you get? Okay, because I've heard of the Arctic. What's the other one? You've got
Polar Plunge. The Polar Plunge.
Polar Plunge. Okay. So, and this is going to.
And this This is the Arctic. They used to do something called the Arctic Plunge out at Captain's for a long time. In the past couple of years, the attendance went way down, and they started doing it up on the parking lot, which in a little pool.
Oh, ick.
Which kind of defeated the purpose. So we took it back out on the lake, and we have helicopter rides out there. We have food trucks coming in.
Oh, wow.
We have a photo booth and DJs. We have live entertainment all day. We have a big Arctic Igloo tent, giant circus tent we're putting up on the parking lot by the bar.
Yeah.
There's so much going on. It's going to be fantastic. It'll be great. Then we have the jumping going on as well.
Okay. Nope, count me in. I'm there. I'll be there.
If you have kids, we're doing a kiddie jump on Sunday inside. We have a blow-up pool inside the building for little kids.
I'll be in there. That's my speed. I'll dip my toes in for that one.
Okay.
I'll do that.
All right.
People can pay money to see me do that, okay? But wow. That's I love it. So we'll get the word out on that one and get that out there. Now we've got some big things going on, in the state of Minnesota right now because next weekend is kind of a big deal when we beat the Eagles. Mm-hmm. What's happening? What are your plans next weekend?
Well, we had a packed house this past Sunday, and I expect the same thing will happen next Sunday. We have a giant 16-foot screen which covers the entire side of the building. Huge. We'll have appetizers, and we do all of our drinks are buy one, get one free during the games. So we have a lot going on, and of course you're going to be there. I hope. Yeah. Bring some of your little friends with you.
I think I'll bring some of my little friends.
That'd be nice.
I think I can work something out. So I've got some pretty cool little friends. But
good.
I think we can arrange some things for sure. So tell us about the menu. I mean, I had like one of the most amazing burgers. So, what kind of food can people look forward to?
Well, when we first took it over, they had like a gigantic, 7-10 page menu that had so much stuff on it that they couldn't do any of it right. It was, there was just too much. There was too much, and it was too slow and too cumbersome. Mm-hmm. And so we trimmed things down a lot. We went for tastier, quicker food. And we have a brand new menu that just came out a few months ago, and it's more conducive to the kind of fast-paced in-and-out crowd that we have in the summertime and the springtime.
Right.
And then we have something we call the hot and hearty menu, which has stuff like turkey and meatloaf and, roast beef sandwich and all that kind of stuff, the hot and hearty stuff that, people like in the wintertime. We have that also as well, but we have a little bit of everything on our menu. Great burgers, great sandwiches, flatbreads, all the, basic stuff.
That's so great. The wings, all that.
Oh, the wings. We have the giant naked wings, we call them. Yeah, that's what they are.
Shrimp tacos.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So, in the wintertime, like you said, you're on a lake. Do you have any competition?
No, there's nobody else around us about 6 miles away in town, in St. Francis. There are a couple bars out there. But really, there's nobody else on the lake. It's kind of us, but you have to drive to find us.
Right.
So it's a nice drive, and we get a lot of motorcycles that like to come out in the summer, and a lot of bike runs that love to make us a destination because we're on the water, and it's always entertainment and stuff. So, we'll be sitting there on the patio, and we'll hear the motorcycle rev up, and we'll listen, and everybody stops that works there and puts their ear to the air and listens to hear how many bikes they hear.
I love it.
If it gets to they start counting them, 1, 2, 3. When it gets up to 10, everybody shifts into high gear. We start calling people in because sometimes 100 bikes will pull in.
Oh, wow. And then, and they don't stay and drink. I hope they don't for a long time.
They'll eat, and they may have a drink, or the people on the back of the bike will drink.
Right.
So, it's a hit when that happens. It's great, but we like to know in advance when you're coming, so give us a call if you're coming out.
I love it. Right.
We'll be ready for you.
And I think now, we're starting to get a little bit of snow. Maybe we can get some snowmobilers headed over that way. I really like it. I mean, and you've got not just the big bar there, but the smaller bar. How many weddings did you guys do?
Oh my gosh, we do quite a few. We do almost at least one a week from spring until October.
Wow. No, but that's
sometimes two.
You guys just opened. That's crazy. So people just right away.
Well, he had been doing a couple here and there.
Okay.
He had booked it out some.
Uh-huh.
But Sherry keeps it hopping. She keeps it pretty full, and that's great. It's great. The wintertime scares you though, because it just gets empty sometimes. It hits you like a brick wall.
Yeah.
So the first year we weren't really prepared for that because we were booming and crazy, and then all of a sudden, November hits and it's like screeching to a halt.
Right. Oh, that's so much like the places up north where our cabin is, and it's if it's not warm out, I mean, why do I want to go out?
Right.
When unless you got to go shopping. So, but you've got a lot of reasons. I mean, you don't have businesses out there. So
no.
It literally is. I mean, is it mostly locals, neighborhood?
In the winter months, it's a lot of people from the lake, from in town, close by people. They come up. We keep something every night. We have, cribbage and poker and bingo and painting classes, the canvas parties and boards where they paint on the boards and hang them on the walls, and
karaoke.
All the games. We make a big thing. Yeah, we do karaoke a lot. We try to keep something going on every single day of the week, so there's some kind of reason to come out.
I love that. That's good. No, here's my big problem with you, is that you're not closer to me.
Yeah.
See, it all should be more conducive to the center of the universe, which is Chanhassen. That's, a friend of mine that's here visiting in town. I explained to her that Chanhassen is known as the center of the universe. There is a church here that considers it. So it's called Ekankar, I think. Not advertising it. People don't freak out and don't think that I go there, but that is my understanding of the belief, and I go, well, I can like to think of it as because I'm here, so I'm good with that. But
well, you know what? We'll give you a reason to drive out even in the winter. Like a month and a half ago, we had the male dancers from Las Vegas, like the Chippendale guys came out.
Okay.
Yeah, for Widows Weekend.
I didn't know you then. Do it again. Do over.
Yeah, we do. We do it every year. And then we had a drag show the next night.
Fun.
We brought in all these drag performers from Chicago and Toledo, and they all came in and did a show, and that was a shocker for everybody out there. The dancers were a shocker.
I love it.
We do murder mysteries. We do. We have Frank Sinatra impersonator coming out in a couple weeks.
Wow.
We just keep craziness coming, man. We had Elvis here a couple weeks ago.
Oh my gosh! Now it's so funny because I've only known you guys for a couple of weeks. Now Lenny lives right by there, right?
Who?
Lenny.
Oh yes.
So is that how you got to know him?
Yeah, I booked some of his bands at the bar.
Okay, because he had said he lives right down the road.
He does.
Wow, that is so neat. So we'll have to. I'd love to hear him play out there.
Oh, he gets up there sometimes. We convince him to go up and grab a guitar.
I love it. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So tell everybody your website so they can see your calendar of events.
Okay, well, the website is captainslakesidegrill.com.
Okay.
And then if you go on Facebook and you punch in Captain's Lakeside Grill, we'll pop up. You want to go to the business page, not the there's a group page too, but that's smaller. The event page keeps you hopping. You see everything that's going on, lots of pictures, lots of ads of flyers of what's happening, and it's a great page.
That's great. So tell me what's going on Super Bowl Sunday. You're going to have a lot of people out?
Well, being that the Vikings look like they're going to take it, and they're going to be in the Super Bowl, I think it's going to be pretty fun. We're going to start planning something here really fast and make it special.
Mm-hmm. No, we're going to work on getting some people out there. and promoting Zooks along with
Yes.
it. They want to be, they want to have you be one of the Zooks Live locations, do some fun things in the summer, and just really get some fun things going on.
Can we do a zip line across the lake?
Yes. Oh my gosh, let's do it.
Let's do it. It's a small lake. It's a long lake.
Well, it's called Long Lake, duh.
Long Lake,
Okay.
but it's not so far across. We could possibly do it.
How many feet across do you think it is?
I have no idea.
Well, go out.
But you can see.
Go out
you
and
can
walk.
see across easily.
Go walk across it, measure it, okay? Well, okay, because you know what? That would be. What's on the other side? What's like across?
Not much. They probably want to start on the other side and come to the bar.
Well, yeah, that's kind
swing
of cool.
into the monkey bar.
Well, you could do it. You could do a zip line to and from. Ah.
Ooh. Across the lake instead of your snowmobile or your skidoo.
Right.
Jump on the zip line. There you go.
Okay, I think that's something to look into because that'd just be another fun reason to stop over. That's a good idea. I won't do it in the winter. I'll do it in the summer because it just seems much more enjoyable.
Right.
But, okay, now, speaking of fun things to do there, something fun happened there just in December, right?
Oh, you're talking about Sherry and I getting married?
Yes. Okay, here's what I need to ask. Okay. What was the day?
It was December 2nd.
December 2nd, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you got married out there.
We got married right there. Another new thing for Isanti people. We're taking them by storm, keeping them guessing, but they're all very accepting. We were a little afraid. Buying a business out there, we didn't know what to expect. We heard, they're never going to handle it. They're never going to take it. 2 gay women running a place.
User left your channel.
Brought in a whole busload of people from Detroit.
Wow.
And everybody mixed and mingled, and it was awesome.
Oh my gosh. See, that's so great. I love that. And that people just need to be accepting. It doesn't matter orientation, skin color,
right,
religion. If we could all just be, okay, you know what? All we all want is to love each other, right? We want somebody that loves us, loves us back, all of that. And I mean, everybody has that in common. I was talking to somebody today. I talked to him for the first time, and we talked about how you have something in common with every single person you ever talk to. It's like, oh wait, you breathe air? So do I. Oh my gosh, that's amazing, right?
Right.
So it's like that's the number one thing. Is like everybody start thinking about what we're all similar about, rather than what our differences are. I think things would be so much easier for everybody involved.
Yep, and that's a fun thing about captains out in Isanti, man. It was a challenge, but it was a fun one.
No, but you know what? You guys were up for the challenge, and okay, so because I'm a romantic at heart,
yes.
Who proposed to who?
Oh, I proposed to Sherry.
Yeah.
I asked her many times, "Are you going to marry me? You're going to marry me?" And she'd always say, "Nope, nope, nope." And then finally one day I took her for her birthday up to Larsmont, up in Duluth.
Uh-huh.
And I proposed to her on the banks of the Lake Superior. And she said yes.
Ah, finally, woman.
Finally.
What in the world?
Finally.
I love it. So that's wonderful. I'm so happy for you too. And I'm so excited that you're my friends and we're going to do some amazing things together. And I'm excited to get some great events coming up there and really do some amazing things that help other people. That's what's important to me. And I want to do some speaking events up there. I mean, my gosh. And you've got me inspired to figure out how I can put down what I'm going through in this era of my life. I mean, I'm divorced, empty nester now. it dawned on me that I had never lived alone.
Yeah.
I'm living alone for the first time, and I don't really like it. But, I think it's my opportunity to maybe sit down and write about it.
Each one of those things is a chapter or a short story waiting to happen.
Right. It's a new era. It's like new era
It
talk,
is.
right? And,
Do you have a blog? Do you do a blog?
I don't.
Oh, see? Well, that's where you can start. That's how I started.
I'd have to write something then, right?
Well, yep, that's it.
There we go.
Yep.
Oh, Elena, darling,
Yes.
love, beautiful. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I'm really excited that you were able to join me. I really appreciate it. Give my love to Sherry.
I will. It was
And-
Daphne on this date.
I know.
6 years to the date that everything in my life changed, and it just happens to be on your show. That's awesome.
You know what? I'm really honored. I feel really blessed that we were able to talk about that, and you were able to share some of your story with us. But to get more of your story, tell everybody again the name of your books and where they need to go to get them.
Okay, well, you can go to my website, which is pickastrugglecupcake.com.
Pick a struggle cupcake. I like that.
.com. Yep, and the stories are by Elena Marie. I didn't use my last name. I used my first and middle name.
Okay.
So if you're looking for me, you'll look up Elena Marie. But if you punch in Pick a Struggle, I'll pop right up. I'm all over Google.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah, and then my books are on Amazon. You can find them both on Amazon. The first one is just called Pick a Struggle Cupcake, and it's a blue-green book. And then the second one was Pick a Struggle Cupcake 2 Seasons. So all the stories in there revolve around the seasons.
I love it. And I love cupcakes. So
Oh, there you go. See?
yeah.
When I first published it, everybody thought it was a cookbook. I'm like, oh, you're so far from the truth. Wait till you read this thing. You're going to be...
Oh, that's so wonderful. All right, darling. Well, thank you again so much for joining me. I really loved having you. And
Thanks for the invite, and I can't wait to see you again soon.
Yeah, so I'm sure I'll see you this weekend.
Okay.
All right. Take
care.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight, and we will talk to you next week after the Vikings beat the Eagles. Ha-ha!